Hey, Hugh from ClickFunnels Support here. So in this video, I'm just going to go over how we can set up a pop-up. So first of all, we'll hover over the pop-ups menu. Then we can click Show Pop-up. From there, we can click on Edit Pop-up Settings to bring up the settings for it. Alternatively, we can hover over the pop-ups menu, click on Edit Settings to jump directly into the settings. In here, we can configure the top margin, which is how far from the top of the page you'll want it to display. We can set a background image. We can choose whether we want it to trigger on exit or not. If we choose show when user tries to exit, anytime that their mouse leaves the main screen area here, to go up top, for example, to change the URL or to close the tab, the pop-up will automatically show up for them. We can choose the width of the pop-up from large, medium, and small. We can choose a background color, a backdrop color, and we can adjust the transparency and color on that. We can choose a background color for the pop-up itself. And finally, we can choose a default text color. We can adjust the padding for the top, the bottom, as well as the left and right. We can get some additional configuration options by clicking on the Advanced tab. By default, the Styles tab is going to be pre-selected for us. Here, we can set a corner radius from square up to 150 pixels, or even 100%. And we can choose whether we want that to apply to only the top, only the bottom, or both. If we want, we can add a border as well, choosing from full border, bottom only, or only top and bottom. We can adjust the size of that border from 1 to 10 pixels. We can choose a style from solid, dashed, or dotted. And we can choose a color as well. If we want, we can add a shadow, ranging from 5 to 40%. If we choose the drop shadow option, the shadow will appear outside of the pop-up. If we choose the inner shadow option, the shadow will appear inside of the pop-up. Finally, we can click on the Animation tab. We can set a time delay and choose Fade In or Fade In with Scale. If I set this to 30 seconds, for example, the pop-up will not show up for 30 seconds after it's triggered. And we can choose an animation. We can have it go on page load, which would take effect when the page initially loads, or on page scroll, which would only take effect when the pop-up actually becomes visible for the user. We can choose a style, and we can set a delay in milliseconds. So hopefully this helps clear things up a little bit in terms of how you can configure a pop-up. If you do have some more questions though, or anything like that, definitely go ahead and let us know in support chat.